I've never, in the half a century I've looked at politics, I've never seen a Prime Minister lose popularity as quickly as this. And have now done things like attacking the farmers, taking money away from pensioners, that they didn't say they would do in the run-up to the campaign in their manifesto. So there's a real breach of trust. It's ironic, they're in real trouble, and yet they've got a huge parliamentary majority. Things can only get worse. I mean, the whole thing's absolutely bonkers, and it needs to be reformed, along with much else in our country.
Has Keir Starmer turned into Britain's Robert Mugabe? Nigel Farage's explosive Christmas message draws a shocking parallel between the Labour leader and the infamous dictator. As Labour's popularity plummets, Farage exposes Starmer's authoritarian tendencies and broken promises. But what's really going on behind closed doors at Labour HQ? Keir Starmer's rise to Labour leadership was marked by promises of change and a dedication to the people.
If talk of reform and myself is dominating it, I'm not there. Look, they are desperately looking for someone to blame for the massive election loss they've just been through. So let's go for Nigel Farage.
Do they want to blame you, or do they want to jump into bed with you? I thought Mr. Jenrick is kind of keen for you, to cuddle up.
Well, he's less rude about me than the other three. I mean, that is true. No, there will be no deal with them. I wouldn't trust them anyway.
Are you proud of Brexit? Do you feel like it's been an unalloyed success?
Do I think getting back our independence was the right thing to do? You bet your life. Do I think we've handled it well? Good Lord, no.
He painted himself as a champion of the working class, vowing to fight for pensioners and tackle immigration issues head on. But as the dust settles on his tenure, many are left wondering, was it all just smoke and mirrors? Take, for example, Starmer's pledge to support the WASPI women. Over 3 million women affected by state pension age changes. Despite his impassioned campaign rhetoric, he's now ruled out compensation entirely. It's a betrayal that's left many vulnerable pensioners feeling abandoned and deceived. But the broken promises don't stop there. In a move that's raised eyebrows across the political spectrum, Starmer's government has slashed winter fuel payments for millions of pensioners. This decision, made during a cost of living crisis no less, has sparked outrage among vulnerable groups who relied on this support to keep warm during harsh British winters. On the economic front, Chancellor Rachel Reeves has increased employers' national insurance contributions.
It was a difficult decision that I had to make yesterday. It's not a decision that I wanted to make. It's not a decision that I expected to make. And there was a £22 billion black hole between what the previous government had said they were going to spend and what they were actually spending. And what happened when that previous government made commitments it could not afford, it put pensions in peril, and it sent mortgage rates and rents through the roof.
It's a policy that's drawn fire from both businesses and workers, who fear it could stifle job creation and hurt wages at a time when many are already struggling to make ends meet. Perhaps most glaringly, Starmer's tough talk on immigration has proven to be just that, talk. Despite promises to clamp down on immigration levels, the numbers have actually increased under Labour's watch. It's a far cry from the stringent controls Starmer promised on the campaign trail. The impact of these broken promises is reflected in recent voter sentiment surveys. Many Britons, particularly those concerned about job scarcity and the state of public services, feel their voices are falling on deaf ears. The growing dissatisfaction is palpable, with polling expert John Curtis noting a sharp decline in Labour's support since Starmer took office. It's a downward trend that set alarm bells ringing within the party. As inflation rises and unemployment numbers climb, voter trust in Labour's ability to steer the ship is waning. The party that once positioned itself as the voice of the people is now facing a crisis of credibility. But here's the kicker. This betrayal runs deeper than just broken promises. Behind the scenes, a storm is brewing that could shake Labour to its very core. While Starmer grapples with public distrust, an even greater threat lurks within his own ranks. Labour's history of infighting is rearing its ugly head once again.
Part of our independence are we exploiting to our best advantage?
The point about independence is we're in charge. So we can get things right, we can get things wrong.
Do you think as a regular voter, you feel that the AUKUS deal has affected your daily life?
If I lived in Barrow-in-Furness and I was working in the submarines, yes, I would, absolutely. Okay. Probably more annoyed with the way Brexit's been delivered than anybody, because so many of the things that we could have done, we simply haven't. And the big one is people voted Brexit above all because they did not like the rate of the population explosion.
But this time, the stakes are higher than ever. The Labour Party, no stranger to internal strife, finds itself embroiled in yet another power struggle. This time, it's not just a few dissenting voices, a full-blown rebellion is taking shape. A group of 35 MPs from red wall constituencies have broken ranks, forming a rebel faction that's sending shockwaves through the party. It's not just the backbenchers causing trouble. Diane Abbott, a prominent figure in Labour politics, has launched a scathing attack on Starmer's leadership. She claims he lacks a feel for the political landscape and that his top team simply doesn't have the skills to govern effectively. Abbott's criticism cuts deep, suggesting that Starmer's decisions are fundamentally disconnected from Labour's core values. This internal conflict is eerily reminiscent of past Labour feuds. From the Blair-Brown rivalry to the tumultuous Corbyn years, the party seems unable to escape its cycle of self-destruction. But this time, the consequences could be far more severe. What's truly alarming is that some Labour MPs are finding themselves agreeing with Nigel Farage's critiques of their own party. This unprecedented alignment with a political rival speaks volumes about the depth of dissatisfaction within Labour's ranks. It's a clear sign that Starmer's leadership is under serious threat. As tensions rise, whispers of a full-blown leadership crisis are growing louder. Party insiders are increasingly questioning Starmer's ability to lead effectively amidst this rising tide of discontent. The once united front that propelled Labour to power is crumbling, and the cracks are widening by the day. Amid this chaos, Reform UK is emerging as an unexpected beneficiary. Recent polls show the party surging to 22% support, putting them on par with both Labour and the Conservatives. This dramatic rise from their previous 12% suggests that voters, disillusioned with Labour's performance, are looking for alternatives. As Labour grapples with its internal demons, a larger question looms. What does this mean for the future of British politics? With the two-party system showing signs of strain, are we witnessing the beginning of a major political realignment? As Labour struggles with internal turmoil and broken promises, we're witnessing a seismic shift in British politics. The rise of Reform UK to 22% in the polls signals a growing appetite for alternatives to the traditional two-party system. Voters, fed up with Labour's failures and Starmer's authoritarian tendencies, are seeking fresh voices and new solutions. This political upheaval begs the question, who will step up to fill the void left by Labour's stumbles? As Nigel Farage's criticism gains traction, even among Labour MPs, it's clear that the old guard is losing its grip. The coming months will be crucial in shaping Britain's political landscape. In these uncertain times, it's more important than ever for voters to critically assess political promises and look beyond party lines. The future of British democracy may well depend on it. As Labour faces its toughest challenge yet, will a new political force emerge to champion the people's interests?